Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just about ready. I think, yep, we are good to go. So we need this up here, right there, and then like so. All right. Turn that down. Here we go. So we are down at the store. It is the third day of summer. I think it's going to hail. I think we're going to get some hail coming up. Let's see what that does to our soybeans that we put in. Because remember, we lost our canola crop, right? The canola just went away. It withered, and I have no idea why. So we put in soybeans instead. We did use the hand of God. But those are in. Let me zoom in here. Right in here. Slide over, I said. There we go. Field 100 is soybeans now, and they are growing. All right, they did sprout. And then our grass field, field 9.5, that right there, is growing as well. So I fertilized it yesterday in-game after I was done recording. So it's got 2 on it now, and then it grew overnight. So we can put a 3rd on it today, and we will. So that is what's going on there. The animals are still fed. Hey, Rajel, how you doing? How's your day going? Animals. So the animals are reproducing. We have 11 cows now. We had 10. Ernie, what's happening? Rajel, I just started. Haven't done anything yet. Just getting the overview done. So the animals are reproducing. We had 10. We've got 11 now. I did muck out yesterday, and we're back to 270 liters of manure. So I'll stay on that. I'll try to keep it under like 1,500. Milk tank has 9,000 liters in it. That's almost a full tank. So we'll sell that today, and I believe that'll be, it's 9,500 in the tanker, and I think we get like 8,000 for it. So we'll make $8,000 today from milk, and then the animals are fed. So all these are green, and we're still only at 75% health. I don't know what to do about that. I really don't. So we need to, I guess the first thing we'll do is speed up time a little bit till we get to 8 a.m. As we do, we will lease a broadcast spreader and make our way back to the farm. Big B, how you doing? We'll make our way back to the farm. We'll get field 9.5 fertilized. That'll be our 3rd layer of fert, and we will be ready for 3rd cut. And we'll stay on 5x time today, yep. I also filled the 5600 with AdBlue and did an oil change on it. It wasn't due yet. Owen, what's happening? Oh, it's so cool when people show up early. I love it. I did an oil change. I topped off the AdBlue. I topped off the fuel. So the 5600 is good to go. It's going to need maintenance in about 14 hours. And if we stay on 5x time, that will be probably late this afternoon. We'll need to take it into the shop for a tune-up. So everything is kind of coming together. And I have to say, though, I'm very conflicted. And when we get to the farm, I'll show you exactly what I'm conflicted about. So we go here. We've got more realistic off for the moment. So we can use all this really cool bullet bill stuff. What did we use last time? We used a sulky last time. I mean, these are all the same. They're just different skins. But let's go with the Amazon this time. Tried some 19 earlier, but didn't last long. Came back to this map. Yeah, it's the man is an artist. It's an amazing map. I love it. And then we'll need, I'd say at least 1,000 liters. I think even a little bit more than that. But if we do 2, you know what? I can clean it up off camera. No, not enough, buddy. Of course not. So we will, we'll put in what we can. And if we run out, we will drop the broadcast spreader up at the farm, hook up the tanker, fill it with milk. Easy now. Fill it with milk, bring it down here, sell it. We'll buy more fert. Right, so this is what's going on with grass. I mean, I could wait till we get back to the farm and have a big reveal, but I can tell you about it now. So you remember first time we cut grass in field 9.5, we'll go first person for the drive back. First time we cut grass in field 9.5, we got like 10 bales, I think. 11. We got 3 hay and I want to say like 6 or 7 silage. And that works out to, call it 10 times 3, 30,000, right? We got 240,000 liters from second cut. Triple fertilized, and by waiting till second harvest stage. 240,000 divided by 3,000 is 80 bales. So we went from 8 to 80, 10x the bales with another layer of fert and waiting for second harvest stage. So we have 240,000 liters of silage in the pit just by the exit, by the gate to field 9.5. I did take one of our silage bales at 3,000 liters. I took it down, I threw it in the hopper at the BGA. I got 1,500 for it. That works out to 500 pounds per 1,000 liters. We have 240,000 liters. That's 120,000 pounds that silage is worth. We need a little bit for the cows. We don't have very many cows right now, so we don't need that much. We have 120,000 in that bunker, and we'll get one more cut this year. So I did the math on that, and this is my dilemma. This is my problem, and this is my, I wouldn't say frustration, but this is, I think, what makes a balanced video game so amazing. So we've got a soybean field. I hope it makes it all the way to harvest. I hope it does, and that it doesn't wither as the canola did. But even if it does, we'll get maybe 50,000 for it, and that will happen once per year. That grass field right next to it, we'll get 120,000 3 times a year. And every time we sell silage at the BGA, we'll be getting digestate as well, and that's less money we need to spend on fertilizer. So really the only smart financial play that we can make is as soon as we get those soybeans harvested, is we plant that field for grass. And here's the problem that I have with that. And this is my dilemma. This is my vexation. I really don't want us to be grass farmers again. It seems like it ends up that way on so many maps. It really does. And I mean, silage is a little bit OP. It always has been. But you don't have to work up to it. You can start with it. So it's not really a goal. It's just kind of a way to make a lot of money. Like a lot of money. So, I mean, if we do that, then we just become grass farmers, right? If we turn field 100 into a grass field, then we're just grass farmers. But if we don't, right, if we keep it as an arable field, then we're sort of not making money on purpose just to have something else to do. Let's pull right in here. Set the brake. Hop out and take a look. That's it. I mean, I got it in there pretty good. I've been told all the way to the back wall, son. I got it all the way to the back wall. I didn't get this top part smoothed off. I've seen people do amazing things. You know what the other problems I have with silage is? I find this process right here to be the worst. Absolutely the worst. I don't like it at all. I think I like it even less than logging. Just driving back and forth. This took me probably 60 minutes, 90 minutes of just driving back and forth on here. And then, of course, it all starts to squirt out. So you got to get the bucket, right? Scoop it back up. Try to keep it neat. I really don't like this process. And the idea that we would do this, so it'd be 3 times a year, 3 cuts, 2 fields, that we would do this 6 times a year. I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't. I really don't. I want to be a grass farmer. I want to be an all-around farmer. But like I said, if the most money that we can make is with grass fields, and we don't do that, then we're sort of, you know what I mean? We're sort of choosing to not make money just to keep the game fun. And that's not realistic. If we're playing realistically, we want to make absolutely as much money as possible. But I really don't want to necessarily do it with grass. That's sort of what happened last save game. Off camera, I was working those, what did we have, 7 or 8 grass fields? And I think most of them were about this size. But it was like 7 or 8 grass fields that I was working off camera. And maybe I didn't tell you this, but I was leasing a Big M and a 60,000 liter trailer. Equipment that was way too big for the map. I was ending up going through hedges and, you know what I mean? Doing that off camera just to get all those fields done to get to the next video. And I don't necessarily want to do that. So we'll think about it. We'll talk about it, figure out what we want to do next. And I mean, I guess there is, you always sort of, I don't know, fib a little bit when you're playing Farm Sim. Like, we know we could have started with pigs and just made tons and tons and tons of money, because that's how we ended the last save game. is with pigs, and we were making, I want to say 400,000 every time we sold, and we could sell about 3 times per year. So it was 1.2 million per year. Well, we could have started with that, not bought any fields at all, just bought pigs. So I guess you always, I don't know, you do what you want rather than what you have to. Yeah, I agree, Ernie. Now, here's where the math gets really tricky for me. If we were to put in field 100 over yonder, if we were to put that in with wheat to make straw bales, we would get 1 wheat harvest per year, probably worth, I don't know, 25 or 30,000. And we'd get a lot of straw bales, more than we would need per season. But we'd get a lot of straw bales. We could sell the excess. But we get 25,000 once per year, or we could get 120,000 3 times per year. So it really is, it's like you're choosing to not make money just so you have a variety of things to do. And I'm okay with that. But I feel like my OCD is like, you know, that's not what a real farmer would do. And I understand. I don't play exactly the way a real farmer would play in real life. It's almost impossible to do that. But I don't know. It's had me thinking. When I was at the gym this morning, I was thinking about farm sim and the way that different sims and different games compress time and money, and how things need to sometimes be distorted, right? They need to be incorrect so that they feel correct, if that makes sense. And so I think we're going to need to do some things that we would not do in real life to keep things interesting. And I definitely get why, I know I've said this before, I definitely get why a lot of YouTubers and streamers don't use seasons. It does kind of boxes you in as far as what you can do. You can only do this next episode because it's the only thing that's available to you. So, I don't know, we'll try to strike a balance. We'll try to find a middle ground where we can keep the streams interesting, do some fun stuff, have some fun around the farm. But I think we may need to be deliberately inefficient. Because if we were as efficient as possible, it would be really boring, and we would make more money than we knew what to do with. Right, so right back up here. And this is 3 layers of fert. If this grows, it won't grow today or tomorrow, but on the 5th day of summer, if this grows again, we might get 4 cuts per season. If we do, that takes us to 480,000 just for this one field. So $500,000 per year from one field. I mean, I'll take it. And, you know, something else that I think about is, I guess it depends on how much you play a game, right? If you only have like X number of hours per week for sessions, it might take you a month in real life to get through a season. Somebody else that plays a lot, they might get through a season in like 1 or 2 evenings in real life. So I think that depends as well, as far as how often you're sort of repeating yourself. You know, are you on 5x time or 1x time? How often does grass work come around? That sort of thing. So it's all different. And then in the context of a stream, it's a little bit different as well. So we'll figure it out though. So that's all I got going on. Oh, I got one other thing going on. I finally got the Rotate MD80 for X-Plane. And I was playing with it a little bit earlier today. It is, so you know I fly that Zeebo mod in X-Plane, the Zeebo 737. The Rotate MD80 is worse. It's even worse. And when I say worse, I mean better. It's absolutely amazing. I feel like every switch in the cockpit is active. Everything does something. And if you do anything out of order, if you deviate from the checklist, if you make any mistakes, the aircraft does not fly. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. I'd like to bring it to the channel. I'd like to fly it as we do the Zeebo. I mean, I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun to, let's get this turned back on. Hang on, let me read this. So we get going down here. And you know what, Ernie? That's a very good point. I rarely grow potatoes, and I never grow beets. But I think the way that this map is set up in the geomod, I think our cows can take beats. Take a look when we get done with this first. Oh shit, I just saw. We're down to 60 liters. Can we get this little strip done with 60 liters? Let's start at the top. We'll start with the fat part. Maybe we can get this last little strip done and we won't have to go down and refill. What was I upset about? Was it something about a plane? I don't know. Something. It'll come back to me. All right, so we may have just a little corner that we don't get, but hopefully it won't be. Maybe we won't even have that. There's 40. Oh no. 30. There you go. They do take beats? Okay. I mean, that's, you know what I mean? We're making up work. We are. But if it keeps the stream flowing, and if it's fun, right? And if we all get together here and you tell me when I'm about to make a terrible mistake, you know, that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's working for me. So we will, oh, all right. So how do we want to do this? We'll take this back now. I just saw we just went negative 500 pounds. So we will get this returned as quickly as possible so we don't have any additional fees on it. Then we'll come back, grab the milk tanker, take that down, and sell the milk. And then decide what we want to do. I think we may speed through a couple days. But we can go up to, I want to say like 2000x on the time. So we can go through a day in 30 seconds. Doesn't take nearly as long as 19. Something I am looking forward to, though, is having all that digestate and not having to buy chemical fert. I like the idea of trying to run an organic farm as well, using only natural fertilizer, no chemical fertilizer. There you go, right out there. I do owe you one makeup stream for X-Plane, though. I was flying from Copenhagen to Berlin yesterday, and it was a little bit struggle bus. I made a couple mistakes leaving Copenhagen, and there was nobody around anyway, so I just bailed out and deleted the stream. So I owe you a makeup for that, and I will do that, I don't know, at some point in the future. I think it's too bad we can't rent or buy something down at the store to take back to the farm, so we're not deadheading back to pick up that milk tanker, but I can't think of anything we need right now that we would use today. Yeah, the animals are fed. Fields are fertilized. Yeah, I think we're good. So we'll deadhead back and grab the milk tanker, fill it, bring it down, sell it, and I think our water tank at the farm is full, and our troughs are just about full as well, so we won't buy water at the water treatment plant like we normally do. Carefully. So if we were to put beets in, can you harvest beets with the rooster? I want to say you can. I'll take a look when we drop this off. If you can harvest beets with the rooster, we've got more realistic disabled at the moment. I don't know if we'd want to put them in a field with any type of grade at all. Now we do have a little, there's a little field down, it's right next to the farm. It's sort of between 9.5 and 100. I believe it's field 9.9. All right, let's lower this. Drop it. I believe it's field 100. And it's small and it's flat. So we could maybe put beets in there. Because we don't need a ton of them, do we? I don't think we do. All right. Let's hop out here. I want to say the rooster is just for potatoes. Maybe it is just for beets. Hang on, let's take a look here. Beet harvesting. Yeah. Oh, no, there it is. How much to lease this thing? Oh, God. 8 grand. I mean, that's almost... And do we have enough horsepower for it? 134, so just barely. We can't do both at once. We'd have to lease. Certainly can't use this thing. So that being the case, maybe we don't want to go in that small field. Hey, Fried, how you doing? Maybe we don't want to go in that small field because we'd have no room to work, right? We would need a bigger tractor with the topper up front and the rooster on the back. That might not be a good fit in that small field. Caden, what's happening? Yeah, Fried, I think we might. We have a problem. The problem is I'm too good at grass work, apparently. We got 240,000 liters from field 9.5 with 3 layers of FERT and second harvest stage. So it's almost more money than we want to be making. It's so much money that it's really tempting to convert field 100 to grass as well and just make a ton of money. You know, spend a year or two making a few million and then just do whatever we want. So we're looking for ways to be inefficient and have some fun instead. 240,000 liters. Whoa, bad driving. What game tomorrow? I think I might do a bunch of games tomorrow, Caden. For New Year's Eve, I was thinking of doing maybe not every sim that I got in 2020, but a lot of them. So like MotoGP 20, F1 2020, Monster Energy Supercross, Ride 4. What else dropped in 2020? I don't know. I made a list. But I might just work through them all as we go through the evening. Hang on. Try to read too many things. Let me get back to the farm and get parked, and I'll be able to read this stuff. And we need to... what we're going to do next? Fill the milk tanker. That's right. Yeah, Caden. It's going to depend. If people are around... I know with lockdown and everything, maybe people can't get out for New Year's Eve. I got a couple DMs before Christmas asking if I was going to be streaming on Christmas Eve, Christmas afternoon for me, Christmas Eve for you. So, you know, if people are I don't know, needing something to distract them on New Year's Eve, if it's not the best New Year's Eve they've ever had, I thought maybe that'd be something I could do for all of you. Because you've certainly supported the channel, particularly this past year. So yeah, I was thinking of doing a long, kind of a quarant stream on New Year's Eve. All right, and where is our tanker? Is it in the barn? Just the harvester, no topper, so you need to use the base game topper. And that is really a hot spot right there. I don't know what it is that we're looking at when we come right through that angle, but our FPS drops off to about 30. All right, let me read these. 240,000 liters. Yes, correct. What game tomorrow? A bunch of games. CD made a beet harvester. Yep. Arner salmon, right? Plans just got canceled. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I was watching a streamer from the UK while I was working this morning, and they were like getting the announcements from the home office in real time, like as far as what, you know, where the tiers were going to be and what areas were affected and that sort of thing. It's just a crazy time right now. So, you know, I can't really do a lot, but I think what I can do is distract you, you know, take your mind off it. So if you're stuck in tomorrow and you're not able to celebrate the way you'd like to, maybe we can just do a stream and try to take your mind off it. All right, so we'll fill this thing up. Yeah, and this little field, let me set the break. We can go look at it right now. This little field is right here. It's 10 grand. Oh, thanks, man. Well, the time difference works in our favor, because if I wrap up around 7 p.m. my time, that's like 1 a.m. That's after New Year's in the EU. In parts of it, I know it's many time zones wide, but give or take. And it's still early enough that I can start making dinner, and my girl and I can have a nice, very quiet, very inside New Year's Eve. So yeah, I think it works out well for everybody. This field is, it's 8 grand now because our reputation went up. So it's relatively flat. You know, I mean, I guess we could put beets in here. It's not that small. I don't know. We'll think about it. We'll think about it. We don't have the money to do it right now. We got to get this milk sold and get our bank balance positive again. And I mean, we can, well, if we skip a couple days, yeah, really chugging right through there. FPS is taking a beating. All right, here we go. If we skip a couple days, the milk tank will be full again. We can sell that, and the food trough may be empty. So then we could use the last of our bales, and hopefully by then the silage will be done. Oh, thanks, Fred. I appreciate that. Same to you, of course. 2020 is, we're done. We made it. I can't imagine how 2021 could be worse. Now, I say that, and who knows what's in store, but I feel like we have all made it through a terrible year, and we always celebrate New Year's. But I feel like this is one of the first in my life that I've ever really felt like celebrating. Like I really did survive something. So, Happy New Year's to everyone, and we'll make the most of this new year that's coming our way. All right, right through here. Carefully. Right through here. So yeah, we would skip a couple days, sell more milk. We would feed the cows, right? By that time, the silage would be done. We could sell a little bit, use the money to buy some hay bales, and that'll be how we make the rest of our food for the animals. And at some point, we're going to have to mow again. So I think we can focus on getting a third cut in, but I don't know that we need to press for a fourth. So even if Field 9.5 is second harvest stage and ready to be mowed, I don't think we need to hurry to do that. Because for one thing, we don't have a convenient place to put it. We do have another pit at the farm, but I don't, you know what I mean? The one by the gate, the one right at the gate to Field 9.5 is so convenient. I'd rather wait a little bit till we empty out that one and use it again for third cut, rather than taking third cut somewhere less convenient. And then we got fourth cut. We got 2 pits to empty. No need to get greedy. So it could be that even if Field 9.5 is ready to mow, that we would wait and maybe harvest soybeans, because that's different, right? Like I was saying to start the stream, it may not be the most realistic, but sometimes you gotta be wrong to feel right, if that makes sense. You gotta do something you wouldn't do. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but it does make sense. So we may let that field just sit and focus on soybeans instead. And I'm estimating 50,000 for soybeans, but we could get more. We could get 80,000. We could get 100,000. Then what? Now all of a sudden we're making too much money. We do have a 300,000 pound loan. So our first 300 grand is sort of already spoken for, and we've only got one tractor. So, I mean, we could easily spend £1 million in the next 5 minutes and really not have a lot to show for it. So even though I'm talking about like, oh, you know, we're going to make too much money, we'll have more money than we know what to do with, we really could use some money. So we'll find something to do with it. We always do. I think we'll get the JCB next. Right back there. There we go. Out of debt, or at least out of a negative bank balance. And we could fill this with water. There's no reason to, though. We got plenty of water at the farm. So I think we'll just take this back the way it is. And yeah, as soon as we get up there, how are the animals doing? Can't give them any food at the moment because we don't have any made. We'll take some water over from the blue tank, and then we'll just skip to tomorrow. And really skip to the next day, I think. Because nothing's going to happen tomorrow. It's the 5th day when things will start happening. All right, here we go. Get turned around here. Mighty swing. And then back in cab. You know, it is. It is. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with me and Farm Sim when I have too much money. I buy fields and equipment. Oh, easy, son. I buy fields and equipment, and then I make myself crazy trying to work them all. So I need to be careful of that. It's one of the things that happened with our first save game for the Western Shore. Is I was working, like, not working, that's the wrong word for it, but it was taking me like 5 or 6 hours off camera to prep for a 30-minute video. And it got to the point where Farm Sim didn't feel like a game anymore. It did sort of feel like work. So I want to be careful that doesn't happen again. You know what I could do? You know what we could do is get a multiplayer server going and get some minions, right? Get minions to do all this sort of grunt work. And then I show up to do the fun stuff. That's a possibility. All right. Now my plan's starting to come together. And it's getting dark. It's getting cloudy. Lights just came on. I think we're fixing to get this hail. And I don't know what the result of it is going to be. I think it might just be like rain. But maybe it is going to damage our crops. Exactly. Exactly. Biggie knew. I'm thinking about it, Fried. I mean, if we got a 17... Well, if we got a multiplayer server going, I think 17 would be the direction to go. I think it's just a lot more fun. The only downside is what mods. And I know I've always wanted to use more realistic, but not everybody does. And as I'm sort of pulling back from more realistic, at least temporarily, I mean, that solves that problem. And I've got some private mods that I probably wouldn't want to put on the server. But I think we could work around that. I mean, there's plenty of mods. There's plenty of publicly available mods, or just stick with mods from the mod hub, or however it works out. But I think if we got mods from the mod hub, we'd have to figure out seasons or no seasons. And I think this map would be perfect because it does have so many farms and they're so spread out there on opposite sides of the map. You could work your farm and we'd never even see each other unless we helped each other out for harvest or something. So I think that's a really good idea. And this map, no, this map is not on the mod hub. Okay, so this would be the only thing we'd have to get from Simply Safe, but I think almost everything else we'd get from the mod hub. And maybe skip some of the realism mods that I use. The GitHub stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, say what you will about the feudal system, Big B, but it gets things done. It does. All right. So I want to say this... Every time I try to get this thing in here, I'm asking, wait, how did I get this in here? I think just like that. All right, so that is in there. Now, if we had to, we could just take straw bale and silage bale over and drop them in the trough. It wouldn't be TMR, but it would be in there. All right, so we're going to stop here, set the brake. Engine is, oh, you know what? Let's do one more thing. One more thing. All right, it just started to hail, so before it really gets going here, check our status. Field 100 is growing. Field 95 is in first harvest stage. So we're going to take a look at those after the hail and see if there was any damage or if we lost anything. Let's take this over and do maintenance on it right now. And the storm lighting, the storm lighting on this map is really, really good. It's got a very ominous feel to it at the moment. Yeah, I think that would work, Ernie. You know, stuff that's on the mod hub, and you know, if it's updated, everybody can update to the same. Well, I don't think there's a lot of mods being updated for 17, but you know what I mean. Everybody can have the same mod from the mod hub. No problems there. 155 pounds to repair that. Yep. And simply safe stuff. Well, I mean, you know how MP servers work. If you've got an incompatible mod on your local, you can just download the proper one via the server. I use Fragnet for MP servers, and it's got everybody who's got the password can download mods from back from the server. So if you ever get an incompatibility, you can just grab the one that is on the server. And that was, honestly, that was my reluctance to have private mods, because once they're up there, anybody could download them. Not that I don't trust any of you, I just want to be respectful to the people that gave them to me. So I think if we use publicly available mods, it solves that problem. It's no issue at all. All right. So we're right there. Set the brake, engine off, fuel is topped off, AdBlue is topped off, we're tuned up, oil's been changed. All right. So we are good to go. So before I speed through the rest of this day, right on, Ernie. Okay, let me think about that for, well, first of the year is probably too soon. Let's aim for like January 14th. Just a couple weeks to get everything sorted out. So everybody who's interested, ping me on Discord. I've got a separate permission, a separate designation for multiplayer. So I'll give you all that status, and that will give you access to the private MP voice channel and everything. And it looks like, stand by. Looks like we, there we go. I lost my preview. I think it's back. All right, so while that is, stream health is good. Is it? Maybe. While that's going on, I'm going to speed up time to 240. Let's get through this hail and see what our status is. I think my laptop, my old laptop that I'm using for preview, I think it's tired, man. This thing needs to rest. It's had a long, hard life. It needs the dirt nap. All right, there's the end of the hail. I'm going to slow time down again, back to 5x. Let's take a look and see. Hopefully it's all still there. Yep. All right, so hail is, I guess, just like rain or snow. Does not damage the crops. Okay. Take a peek at the animals one more time. Everything is good there. And we'll speed through the rest of this day. Here we go. So here is 2000x time. That's 8 p.m. So slow down to 1x. We'll sleep through the night. Big B, you know, I do. And I would love to be able to do it in reverse as well. All right. Okay. So where are we at on money? We've got 4 grand. We're getting a little bit low on power food. We do need to water the animals. We're okay on manure. Milk tank is not full yet. So why don't we... Let's go take a look over here and see how our silage is doing. I want to say it's got... it's probably about 50% done. And here, 75%. Okay, so this will most likely be done tomorrow. So if we go, how do we want to do this? This thing is to lease 1,500. Okay, so we can afford to lease this. So we'll speed up time to 8 a.m. to get the store open. Go pick up the food mixer. Bring it up here. We'll drop 1 hay and 1 silage in it. That'll give us 6,000 liters. Feed the animals. Return that. Come back, water the animals. And skip through 1 more day. All right. So the store is open. Let's head down there. Yeah. Yeah, the funny thing about the monkey paw is everybody knows that story. But if any of us got a monkey paw, the first thing we would do is start wishing. Yeah, I know that story, but that doesn't apply to me. I'm way past that. I trust myself with a monkey paw. All right. We set? We are set. All right, food mixer. Monkey paw. I don't trust myself with a scratcher ticket. I would never trust myself with a monkey paw. I would... Oh. Right through here. And when we get to tomorrow, day 5, I'm almost positive field 9-5 will be 2nd harvest stage. And I think from now till it withers in the fall, it'll just keep. I hope it does. There. Right through there. And the other thing we can do... Is that one of the Treehouse of Horror episodes? Seems like it would be. The other thing we can do once our cover comes off our pit is we can... I mean, I don't want to lease a trailer just for 1 trip. I guess it's worth it. Or you know what we could do, because we've got room on the loan cap. What we could do is buy a trailer and just fill it and take it down, and the first load of silage that we sell, use that to pay back whatever we had to borrow to get the trailer in the first place. Sir. I can't believe that show's been on for, what, like 30 years? It's been on for a long time. Longer than you would think. All right, so right through here. This is definitely a downside to being broke when you have to lease everything. And the farm that we have is really on sort of the far side of the map. I mean, it could be further to the north, and be exactly the opposite, but it's definitely on the other side of the map from where we are. Right, so we want our UK plate, lease that. Here we go. All right, back to the farm. Yeah, it's like South Park. South Park is, it's not quite tame. They still have their moments, but it's no longer controversial. That's been on for a long time, too. Is it? Wait, South Park is still on? It's been like, oh, it's got to be 20 years. It's amazing when something that begins, how do we want to say this? It begins very, like revolutionary, very counterculture, and then it ends up becoming part of the culture. It's like Fidel Castro was a violent revolutionary till the revolution succeeded, and then he became an entrenched dictator. I believe in revolution right up until I'm the one in power. After that, I think things need to stay exactly as they are. I don't remember how old I was. I know I wasn't really into it because it was a cartoon and I was a big kid, you know? That was kid stuff and I wasn't interested. But it was well beyond me even then. And it's still, I think it's still some of the best writing on TV. It's a little stale. It's got Saturday Night Live syndrome, but a lot of it is still very crisp and very topical. But they've cycled so many people through there. Like people have begun their careers there and then left and gone on to have other careers and are now getting ready to retire. Yeah. You know, I'm just a simple revolutionary. I wear the plain, simple garb of the working man, and I live in a palace, and I have elite bodyguards, and the elections are rigged, and I'm staying here forever. But other than that, just a man of the people. And where did we park this before? Other side of the lane, in that little... there's like a little nook over here. Yep, right over here is where it fits. Right about there. Two through 10, you talking about The Simpsons or South Park? Or possibly both. So we'll drop that right there. I think... Yeah, I've heard it is. Big B. I know they've been really wanting to get things sorted out, get those tourist dollars. It's like all the islands around them are getting that tourist money. Getting that sweet, sweet tourist money. Cuba wants some of it. All right, Fried. Thanks for stopping by. Take care now. You know what? I'm just going to hook that up. No need to get too fancy. So if we drop this here, go get our spike. And I think for single bales, we don't need the weight on the back, so we can just drop those in The only one, the hay bale is like, it's not trapped, but it's on the other side of the trailer, on the side that the water tanker is on, so we may have to make a long arm, but I think we can do it. So if we grab, where's our spike? Yep, there's our spike right there. So we need that. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of policies, not just in the US, but globally. There are a lot of policies that countries have that it just makes you scratch your head. Like, who is this? Who is this benefiting? Who is this hurting? Have you really thought this through? So much of geopolitics just comes down to hurt feelings from like 2 generations ago. All right, so we'll drop this in here. Yeah, I lived in Thailand for a while, and the resort town that I lived in, I kept getting mistaken for Scandinavian, because it was not, it's like every tourist town has its own, or every tourist region maybe is a better way to say it. They have their own sort of part of the world that they appeal to, and the town that I was in is very much Scandinavian and Russian tourists, not too many Americans, so I kept getting mistaken for a Scandinavian. Yep. I was hoping we could do that. Just kind of reach across there and grab it. All right. So that's done now. And I think we're done with the front loader and the spike, so we'll drop this, grab our weight, feed the animals, throw some water in for them, and then we can skip another day. So right over here. Drop that. Drop that. Beautiful. Interesting. Is that their own, is that something that's made in Cuba, or there's only one kind that's imported? All right, there's that. Turn that on. And how did we do this before? Moment. I'll remember. I think if we back up, yeah, then we can come in from that side, so our ejector is on the correct side. Yep. Oh god. Jackknife. Carefully. This thing does not want to bite now. It's kind of flip-flopping around. We'll get it. Don't hit the sign. Oh, could you imagine? Because you know that sign is custom made and probably pretty expensive. Alright, so right up in here. I hope this trough takes everything we've got in here. Because I don't want to take it down there with anything in it, and I don't want to keep it any longer than we have to. Perfect. So how are we doing now for the animals? Power food is almost topped off. Certainly enough to last till tomorrow. Okay. So we'll head back down. Once again, back to the store. Drop this thing off, come back, water the animals, and we'll skip a day. Hang on, let me read the chat. Yeah, I bet the rum is amazing. I'm not really a fan of it. It's not my preferred drink, but I can appreciate quality in anything. And I know I've tasted some rum that is really, really good. Like you can understand why people love it. And I imagine the rum is amazing. And I have smoked some Cuban cigars. I'm not good enough at it to know the difference. To me, they just tasted like good cigars, but I didn't understand why people have raved about them for years. But I would attribute that more to me not knowing the difference than to there being anything wrong with them. What do I know about cigars? And we have really gotten our money's worth from this little 5600. We got it, we could have got the T-dub for less. But it didn't have a front loader. And the JCB had a front loader, but was too expensive. And this has really treated us well for 100 grand. We've been doing everything with this on this map up till now. Cohibas, yeah, you know, I've smoked a Cuban Cohiba, and I feel like it was wasted on me. I really did feel bad. Like, this is the cigar that people rave about. This is the cigar that people are willing to like risk a federal crime for, or were. And I mean, it was good. It was very good. I feel like I enjoyed it, but I didn't appreciate it. I didn't really know what I was smoking. I did like it, but I felt like I didn't like it as much as I was supposed to. But then again, my favorite cigar is Drew Estate. People think those are trash, so what do I know? Yeah, you know, I don't really like rum, but I do like a mojito. Quite a fan of the mojito. But I would say gin and tonic is my summer drink, and single malt neat is my winter drink. Either that or a glass of wine. All right, through here. And right through here. All right. So what do we need? We need to water the cows, and we'll skip the next day. See what the status of the crops is when we wake up. If they're not ready yet, I know the grass will be ready, but I don't want to mess with that grass. I don't want to mow grass anymore. So we'll take a look, and what we can do is, well, if we sell milk, we can go get hay bales. We can go buy 8 hay bales and use those with the silage in the pit. to make animal food if we need to. The other thing we can do is, if the silage is ready, we can either buy or lease a trailer, fill it, take it down and sell it, try to make some money. Hang on, I think out of the corner of my eye, I think I just saw somebody drop knowledge in the chat. I need to, let me get all the way down here and get parked, because if I'm reading knowledge, I want to read it properly. Get the full, you know what I'm saying? The full philosophical impact. Don't waste wisdom. Carefully. I'm trying to make my movements with the gamepad as gently as I can. This game is still extremely sensitive on a gamepad. All right, right through here. Hang on. All right, where's the wisdom? Here we go. Yeah, and it took me a long time to come around to it. I've always liked single malt. I'm not kidding. Since I was like a teenager, I've always liked single malt. That's my heritage, I suppose. And, you know, you try to share it with people, you try to turn people onto it, and they tell you it tastes like jet fuel with oranges in it. Why would you drink that? So it's not for everybody. And I kind of felt the same way about gin for the longest time. But then I drank absinthe in Prague, and that's what clicked for me. The idea of botanicals, it just, I don't know, somehow it worked. And from there, because you can't get absinthe everywhere, or at least you can't get good absinthe everywhere, but you can get gin everywhere. So in the absence of absinthe, that's a lot of curves in there. If you can't get a hold of absinthe, gin is the next best thing, and I kind of started to like it a lot. All right, so right back here, get hooked up there. Dropping science, like Galileo dropped the orange. All right, so out here, and we need to get backed up to the trailer, backed up to the tank, and figure out what combination of scripts are going to allow me to fill this thing. Because we've got, I feel like there are 2 or 3 scripts running on the water tank, and then 2 or 3 scripts running on this trailer. And as long as we can get them to all play together, everything is fine. All right. There we go. Lagavulin? No, I drink Lefroy. That's my family's distillery, so I'm kind of stuck with it. All right, I think that... Oh, right, we got overlapping commands here. So right through there. And where is this? It's back here. I always forget this. And then right through here. Pardon me. They freeze. They're paralyzed by fear. Come on now. Oh, there's another one. At some... Oh, hang on. This is our opportunity. We just sneak right through there. And I think what I may do... Yeah, it's... that, like I said, since I was a teenager, that's kind of how that worked out. All right, so right in here, and I've got 2,500 liters in here. I think there's like 25,000 in the blue tank across the lane. So what I may do is just let this go till it's empty, even if we waste a little bit. And how are we? Yeah, didn't waste any, just about full. Looks like we've got maybe 5% missing. So we'll go park this thing up, take a look at all our numbers, make sure everything is good, and then we'll skip another day and see what that does for us. Just drive through those cows. Right there. Back in here and across the lane. Right here. So I think by tomorrow the milk tank may be full again or nearly so. Straighten that out. OCD. Drop that. Set the brake. Well, I mean, my family's from Scotland, and when you trace it all the way back, I'm related to people that are related to. It's that sort of. It's not like if I go there, they know me by name or anything. Although I did buy, I own like 1/1000th. I bought one of the tiles. They did a thing a few years back where you could buy part of the island. All right, so that's good. Grass may run a little bit low. Wheat may run a little bit low, but nobody's going to die overnight. So, okay. So it is the 4th day. We're going to speed up time to the 5th day. Oh, don't want to go that fast. I think if you go more than like 5000x on the time, everything gets really weird. So try to cap it at 2000x. 6 p.m. The bunker's done. Fantastic. There's 7. There's 8. Slow down to 5x. Skip the night. Let's see how we do. Oh, fingers crossed. All right. Animals are good. Wow, they still have wheat. Okay. And their health is going up. So we're good there. Only 5,300 liters in the tank. So we could get about $5 grand for that. Not enough to buy a trailer, but we do have room on the loan cap. And we're up to 12 cows. Yeah, it's that kind of deal. It's that kind of deal. And what do we want to check our crops as well. Let's see how everything is doing. So our grass is not there. Here we go. Our grass is okay. Our grass is second harvest stage, and our soybeans are not ready yet. So, decisions. The animals don't need to be fed. There's really, I mean, we could put power food in there, but there's really no need to at this point. We don't have wheat, barley, or oats. Do we? I think we do. Yeah, we've got canola and sunflower we could sell. We get $6 grand for the sunflower. Let's do this. How much to lease a small trailer? A small cool trailer. Let me see. So we can go with the Marston again. Something like this. And that will take silage. Confirming, yes, that will take silage. It's $2 grand at least. So if we bump the loan a little bit. Oh, they're going to gamble for their lordship? Hell yeah, man. We can do this little west. Yeah, we can do this little west for less than we've got. I like it. Okay, so if we lease this. All right, how do we want to do this? We're going to lease this. We're going to drive to Blockwell. We're going to fill it with sunflower. We're going to sell the sunflower. And we're going to come back, fill it with silage, go down and dump that, and hopefully that'll be, won't be quite 2 hours, but hopefully that'll be about 90 minutes. And before we do that, before I forget, let's speed up time to 8 o'clock so we're not paying rental on that from 6 to 8 when we're not even using it. And we'll take one more look before we leave the farm just to confirm the animals are good and everybody's healthy and we're not going to miss any problems. All right, so that's 8 a.m. One more look here. Got there. There. Yeah, I think we're okay. All right. So we'll lease our trailer. Nah, it's got to be this one. It's the only one we can afford at the moment. So we'll lease that. We'll go sell our sunflower seeds. We'll get started on silage, and we'll leave it there for now. I'll probably sell a bunch of that off camera because it is going to be kind of tedious to fill it with our little bucket. Yeah. I mean, people just like to fight. It's crazy. The science of conflict is amazing. Like, the #1 dopamine release, of course, is sex. The undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Nobody's ever going to challenge it. That's always going to be at the top of the list. But #2 is fighting. Fighting releases almost as much dopamine as sex. It's people get addicted to it. Conflict, tension, you know. There's a need for conflict in all of us. Some people are able to come to terms with it. Other people don't fully understand it, so they tend to act it out. But yeah, man, people will fight over anything. I'm going to try to do it at 1 p.m. Eastern. Same as always, and go till about 7 p.m. Eastern. So I think that's going to work out to about 5 or 6 EU time. I say EU time. I mean, I know the EU is like, it's many time zones wide, but just like the middle of it, the center approximately. So I think that would be 5 or 6 EU time and go till about midnight to 1 a.m. EU time. Wait, hang on, conspiracy theory. Uh-oh, hang on, Vietnam War. Oh dear, it just got heavy in the chat. Hang on. Caden, I'm going to start at the same time and try to go 6 hours. So whatever my regular start time is for you, it'll be the same. And then extend it out about 6 hours. I mean, the whole thing? I thought there was more to it than that. Well, I mean, you're right. And to step back and take the 30,000 foot view, the actual physical act of fighting is carried out by people that, if not like it, at least need it. But the end result is always, the goal is always to make somebody else money or somebody else's bruised ego. So yeah, I guess I should clarify. There's always 2 aspects to a war. There's the suits. There's the people that are trying to sell bullets and bandages. And then there's the people that are actually in the mud. I am in Eastern time. Man, every time I see a name like that, I mean, are you... Yeah, the theories are fantastic. All right, Caden, if you're taking off now, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. I think we're gonna go with Levin. I think that works out best. Levin or PC? Yeah. Yeah, Big B. Conspiracy theories they're amazing. And that's another. I wouldn't say I study it, but that's another area of intense interest for me. I wonder why anybody would, I don't know. What? Oh, it's all kicking off. What's going on here? And then that one. Yes, that's what I said. Booty trap. All right. So we're going to this farm. What's the quickest way to get there? Pro Gamer 2018, what is happening? How's your evening going? Yeah, and that's, you know, when people talk about the Warren Buffett effect, you know, there was this observation that Warren Buffett was so he was so good at picking companies and picking stocks that it was like any company that Berkshire Hathaway bought shares in inevitably became more valuable. The stock price rose. It's amazing. It's uncanny how Warren Buffett can pick these stocks. And then you realize, no, it's just people follow Berkshire Hathaway. If Berkshire Hathaway buys it, right? People think, well, it's going up, and so they buy it too, and more people buy it, and that causes it to go up. So I think at a certain point, you amass a fortune where you begin to affect other people's fortunes, like the moon affects the tides. It's just unimaginable amounts of money. It's like it transcends money, you know? Like if you go fast enough, air stops behaving like air and starts behaving like a brick. It's the same thing. If you get enough money, it doesn't behave like money anymore. It behaves like some kind of force. Oh, hang on. All kinds of stuff coming in chat. Very cold outside. I hear you. I hear you. It's been, we had a kind of a warm day here yesterday. I was able to go out and go for a run around the golf course, but for the most part, it's been in the 30s, and ill will does not run when it's in the 30s. I don't like to run at all. You know how some people look like graceful gazelles when they run? I look like somebody's chasing me when I run. I do not like it. I only do it because I have to. And when it's in the 30s, I figure that means I don't have to. But we're past the 23rd, so the days are already getting longer. A little bit at first. Got to build up that momentum, but it'll be spring before you know it. I'm really looking forward to it. I think a lot of people are. 2021, it's going to be nice to get back outside. And I'm trying to think how we get there. So when we had Bramble Lane as our headquarters, we would go up Bramble Lane from, yeah, we had to come in on this end. So as long as we make this turn down here, the left turn that I always miss, I think this will take us directly to Blockwell. Yeah, I look like, it's like something from a Stephen King book. I I wish I could be graceful. You know, I did a couple triathlons a few years back. Not Ironman length, not full length, just little baby ones. And man, I need to do it with a team or something. I'll be the cyclist. I was an avid cyclist for years. I can ride a bike all day, but I can't. Even if I have to like run 2 miles as part of a physical for a job or something, really, don't make me. Yep, I think we found it. Yeah, we did. Hell yeah. I still remember my way around here. All right, so we will be good, responsible citizens. Beacons on. Flashers on. Are they? They are. Fantastic. Turn these off. Hop back in here. Like that. 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 Here we go. Exactly. That's... It is a question cyclists ask a lot. I've had to not had to, not like I lost a bet or something, but you're walking somewhere with an avid cyclist, and they'll say out loud, "Why would anybody do this when they could be riding a bike?" All right, Caden, I'll look for you tomorrow. Thank you, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. And it's like sort of a rhetorical question, but it's sort of not a rhetorical question. It's a really good question. You know, the thing I liked about bikes, and the thing that I really believed in, is when you look at a picture of like the first safety bicycle from the, late 1800s? Mid to late 1800s, when they started moving away from high wheelers. Look at a picture of the first safety bicycle and look at a modern mountain bike or road bike, and they're virtually identical. It's so efficient, and the design is so refined that it really can't be improved on. And people are constantly trying to make a better bicycle. And yeah, no, not really. The thing that works really well, it works really well. It works so well that you can't really improve on it as much as people try. So any device that efficient, I respect as an engineer. All right, here we go. And the other thing is, a bicycle is an extraordinarily efficient way, calorically, to move the weight of one person. You know, every time you see an SUV that weighs 6,500 pounds with like one person in the front seat driving and one baby in the back seat, it's really not, it's just not very efficient. Not even close. But a bicycle is unbelievably efficient. All right, right through there. Yeah, Howard and what was that kid's Melvin something? Like Melvin Strockmeyer. I mean, I respect the, you know, he's got some enthusiasm, he's got some energy. He's going to try to pull off a scam like that. And you had your bet, because Howard Hughes was, a lot of people thought he was already dead, right? So it's like, best case scenario, I come out of this with a ton of money. Worst case scenario, I don't, right? But really the worst case scenario is that Howard Hughes was like completely insane and had deep ties to the intelligence community. So you try a stunt like that and you know what I mean? Like you wake up in a basement in Romania with all your fingernails pulled out. People want to know why you're trying to take money from Mr. Hughes. But props to him, man. All right, so oh, you know what? Hang on. Moment. I was going down to Hollister because that's where we've been selling everything. What's the best price for? Ah, all right. It is Hollister. Do you know off the top of your head what the resolution to that was? I don't remember. I've never seen the movie. I know there is a movie. You're right. And the guy's name is. Yeah, he's got one of those names, you know? He doesn't have like a quarterback name. He's got the other kind of name. So I don't know how that all worked out. Whether he was able to get any part of the fortune. Carefully. Here we go. And how are we doing on time? Whoa, careful. Don't look at the clock when you're supposed to be looking at the road. What was the movie about Howard Hughes? The Aviator. Yeah, I don't know how accurate that was. But it was a good movie. Scorsese typically makes good movies. It was kind of sad. It was a bit of a downer, you know. Hate to see somebody fall apart like that. Found out to be a hoax? Yeah. Well, gotta try harder, son. You're no DB Cooper. So do this right here. I mean, there's a part of me when things like that, when they go down, it's like, hang on. There we go. Fat figure. Yeah, I mean, there's times when when something like that happens with an estate like that, there's part of me that thinks, oh, just give him some money, you know, just give him, I don't know, $1 million, give him $5 million. It's a trivial amount of money, and I know the reason they can't do that is if they did, people would just start coming out of the woodwork. But yeah, Melvin something. Oh, I don't know, his later life. That's do you see that guy? Was it this year? It might have been 2019. There was a guy that wanted... I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't laugh. There was a guy that wanted to prove the flat Earth theory, so he took off in a homemade rocket, and it killed him. You know, that's not funny. I'm laughing, but that's not funny. And that's stories like that. That to me is what happens to a person like that later in life. Like, there's never a happy ending. You know, there's just not, and that's no fun. So I don't know. Unless he's like a, you know, high stakes professional grifter. And he's just been living the life. Man, I was not around for that era, but I really wish I could have seen Las Vegas in the 60s and 70s. That must have been something else. Even without cocaine, that must have been something else. And where is our turn? Right here. Yeah, that's right. Back to The Simpsons. That's some Montgomery Burns kind of action right there. All right, so we go right up here. I'm just going to park this thing right up by that pit. Right, how about right here? Yeah, how about we go right here? And I'm going to go third person just to confirm that we're on level ground. We are. Which movie is that? Do you mean like an actual gangster movie? Like Casino? Or do you mean the movie So Gangsta? And we're going to drop our weight right over here. Back this up. Not gangster movie, gangster move. Oh, that's what you get for not reading the chat. All right, Big B, I'm gonna tell you an anecdote. I'm gonna tell you an ill will anecdote. I was in La Habra, California, in a 7-Eleven. And you know this doesn't end well. It sort of does. I was in a 7-Eleven in La Habra, and there was a person in front of me in line. And I would say conservatively they weighed like, I don't know, 300 pounds. Didn't seem to be much of a health nut, if you take my meaning. But they were clean enough and articulate enough. It seemed like a nice person. And while I watched, they bought $500 worth of scratcher tickets, which... It's not that hard because, I mean, there's $10 and $20 scratchers. You can spend a lot of money on scratchers. They spent $500 on scratchers. So we want, there we go, $500 in scratchers. I buy my, I don't know, my my Red Bull and my whatever. And as I'm leaving, they're getting in their car and they're getting into like a 1 or 2 year old Escalade. And so my question is, for them, Ed, rhetorically, if you're the kind of person that spends $500 on scratchers, how do you have enough money to buy an Escalade? Because it would seem like there's no amount of money that you could not recklessly spend your way through. And yet, you have some left. So when I hear about millionaires or billionaires doing crazy things like that, I always wonder, how do you have any money left? If that's how crazy you are with your money, how do you have any left? And if you're responsible in any way, why are you doing things like that? I've just never been able to align those two like realities in my mind. How a person can be so irresponsible and so wealthy at the same time. And this bucket is, I thought it was 600 liters, but it's 1,400. So this will go, I mean, it won't go fast. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, you're right. Statistically, there could be somebody that, you know, they blow all their money on scratchers irresponsibly, and the last one they scratch, they win like twice what they spent on all the other ones. And it's like, see, I told you so. And all their friends are just rolling their eyes like, yeah, you're right. You're right and we're wrong. You are a financial genius. I think this is, this may be just about the right size trailer. It's a little small for this map, might be, save game, might be a little small for this farm. But I think for now, this is just about right. It's easy to get around. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. And when you're buying something like a casino, depending on how the debt is structured and where it's located and the assessment and everything else. Right, like as far as what that's going to do with your taxes. That's... I don't have a whole lot of line item deductions. You know what I'm saying? When you get to be a bazillionaire, you're deducting all day. Yeah, you're right. I see that the misery index plateaus at 75,000 for an individual and 150,000 for a household. Right? People's level of happiness rises to about 75,000, and then it flattens out. So somebody who's making 750 isn't much happier than somebody who's making 75. But somebody who's making 15 is not nearly as happy as either one of them. So I think there is a limit to what people need. There's always more stuff you can buy. Good friend of mine, guy I've known since I'm 15 years old. His whole life, all he wanted was a BMW 5 Series. And he finally got one. He got a really nice one, too. Brand new. Yeah, like 13 miles on it, that kind of deal. And within 3 months, he was saying he should have got the 911, which is the other car that we both always wanted. And I think, yeah, you know, all the years that he wanted that car, and he finally got one, and he was happy with it for just a couple of months. And now every time he looks at it, it's not quite enough. So I think there really is a trick to being happy. Somebody told me once, you got to learn to be happy with nothing. Because there's nothing less than nothing. If you can learn to be happy with nothing, right? that's you got it dialed, because there's nothing. You don't need to worry about losing anything. There's nowhere to go. So you're solid. You're safe. But if you think you'll only be happy if you get things, there's always one more thing to get. You'll always be chasing the dragon. Yeah, same. I would say the best year of my life was the summer I lived in Moab. I lived in a tent, and all I did was mountain bike in Moab and Fruta. Rode bikes, worked on bikes. That was it. There we go. That was fairly quick. I thought it was going to take a little bit longer than that. Now, I noticed when we were selling our sunflower, I say sunflower seeds. That's what it is it not? Yeah, there's no cap to it, Ernie. If you can be happy with what you've got, then you're happy with what you've got. But if you're constantly aiming for things, you know, when's it ever enough? So we'll drop this. Drop that. I'm going to leave this over here. We'll probably be using it here before we use it anywhere else. And let's get hooked up to this. We'll throw the cover on it. Let's see how the cover looks when it's on. Some of these covers clip through. I think really they're just meant to be used when it's empty. Let's see how this one looks. That looks great. Yeah, I mean, when I'm gaming with my friends, which I haven't done, unfortunately, for a while, but when I'm gaming with my friends, this is how it goes. You know, you just drink a beer, pass around the controller, try to see who can turn the best lap time, and the conversation always gets deep. Got to solve the world's problems. They're not going to solve themselves. All right, and we want to go to, the only place we can sell this is the BGA. So here we go. And we've got, carefully, I want to say we've got the grain door selected, so I need to remember before we get down there to open that, because it'll take forever to empty this thing. Carefully. Carefully. All right. So I'm thinking about flying that MD-80, but I'll be real with you. I spent 2 hours in that aircraft today just trying to learn the panels. I never even got to turning on the engines. I didn't even start the APU. We were on ground power the whole time, and I was just like looking at things and being overwhelmed by it. I did make a skin for it though, and it's a 1980s aircraft. So I made this unbelievable retro 1980s branded, right? Because everything we do is, we started with Kuhn Heavy Trucking out of Stuttgart, and then that expanded. There's Kuhn North America, there's our airline, right? So this is the retro Kuhn Airlines 1980s paint job. It's totally Miami Vice, as you do. Is this, here it is. So I think, I mean, I want to fly that. I'm going to fly it this afternoon when I'm done here. But I don't know, because I think if we were to fly that aircraft, I think, unfortunately, it would mostly just be like reading checklists and trying to figure out how to start the thing. All right, we want tip side. I'm not seeing it. I hope we don't have to tip through. Let me line this up a little better. Ernie, you're right. I think the trick is to not take it too seriously. All right, are we ready? I think it's got to come out through the grain door. I don't think the back of this thing opens. So we'll just take our time. All right. But we are making money, and we're making digestate now, too. Look at that. Fat stacks of cash. I mean, it is too easy at this point because we've got over 100,000 in that silo. Cows are making, call it 6,000 to 7,000 a day. We've got one more cut we could do. I mean, as soon as we empty that pit, we can do another cut. Possibly we could do that cut right now, today, and put it in another bunker and get a fourth cut in. I don't know, man. That's $500 million a year. Wait, what? What? He said what now? 1,700? That's not right. Yeah. Don't take things too personally. Don't take things too seriously. You're a ghost driving a meat-covered skeleton made of old stars, riding a rock at 500,000 miles per hour. There's really not a lot to take seriously. When you think about it from that angle, it's all so terrifying. Don't even think about it. You'll go crazy. Wait a minute. What the hell just happened? We sold all of that for... Damn it, menu. We sold all of that for 1,700? That can't be. Whoa. Ow. We sold one silage bale. I guess we got the bale price. All right, that changes things. I mean, it doesn't change them that dramatically. It takes the value of that pit from 100,000 to 35,000. Well, yeah, I guess it does. All right, it does change things pretty dramatically. It impacts our financials by 65%. That's dramatic. I thought this was closer to 500, but I guess that's only for when it's baled. It's just a ride. It goes up and down. It's got thrills and spills. It's just a ride. My favorite Bill Hicks line is when he said, all the things in your head that you believe, they're just beliefs. They only exist in the soft tissue of your brain. They're not real. And they're nothing the rest of the world is going to take seriously, so you probably shouldn't either. Love that guy. Okay. Well, I mean, it changes things a little bit, but in a direction that we want them to change them, because that silage is now worth not nearly as much as we thought it was. So that calms down the finances a little bit, and we can just proceed as we were going to. We don't need to worry about accidentally making like piles and piles and piles of money. So that does work out. That does work out. And we get the digestate. So we won't have to buy fertilizer too much longer. Okay. And also, before we go, let's take a look here and just confirm. Yep, our soybeans are still growing. Now, if Field 100 dies again... But you knew I would. You had to know I would. Come on now. As long as nothing happens, because if Field 100 specifically is bugged out, and the soybeans that we put in here, if those wither as well, then we know we got problems. But if we can bring these soybeans in, that's 50. Okay, so we will definitely want to do this third cut as quickly as we can, because we just, I don't know. It's not a setback, but it's a reality check. Yeah, because when I first saw what I thought we were going to get for that silage and the amount of grass that we could get, I have to say I was a little bit bummed out. That's way too much money. So this setback cancels out the other setback that was going in the other direction. Yeah. Oh, and what else? He talks about sitting by a lake, tripping on mushrooms and realizing that we're all one consciousness, and that's not anything that's going to allow us to continue fighting wars or exploiting each other for profit. So that's why drugs are illegal. Here's not with the weather. Yeah, he was a prophet, man. That guy was so, I don't know. What he did was, it's like what Chappelle is doing. You know, I can only speak truth to you if I throw a punchline on the end. but a cat was speaking truth. All right, and on that note, where are we at? 109 minutes? That's just about 2 hours. We'll call it right there. I'll be back same time tomorrow, and we'll do, we'll just mix it up a little bit. Let's try to do a few different sims from 2020. The motorcycle sims, I gotta tell you, I don't know how you feel about motorsport. A lot of people don't like the sound of a whining engine. Well, take that whining sound and make it even worse. That's what motorcycles, like MotoGP bikes, that's what they sound like. So that's, yeah, I felt really conflicted at the end of George Carlin's career after his wife died, because the things he was saying were so heavy, but there was that underlying layer of bitterness. And I was really sort of disappointed with George Carlin for him being like an affirmed existentialist for as long as he was, to be that bitter about his wife's death. Like, come on, bro. Joseph Heller taught us this. We're just made of meat. You know, it's if something happens to us, we die. You know that. So for him to fold like that when his wife died, that was I was really kind of disappointed. I expected more from him, but I liked his work at the end. I just didn't like that tone of bitterness. It's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to go. I want to go about 6 hours. So we'll need to just mix it up. We're going to mix in a lot of different sims. I'm probably going to have a gin and tonic or two. And I might dip into that MD-80 a little bit just to at least show it to you. It's a fantastic plane. It's above my pay grade at the moment. So, all right, that's it. I'll sell some more of the silage off camera, and we'll pick it up tomorrow. I think no farm tomorrow, but we'll do everything else instead, and we'll wrap up the year that way. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. See you tomorrow. Good night.